going to criminal fraudsters. I certainly have a major problem
in every
with that.
community, there are good people and there are bad people.
Regular order.
But to try to
understand we're not supposed to disrespect our witnesses.
The witness said Medicaid fraud was crossing state lines involving thousands of people and potentially billions of dollars here. And that's when the hearing broke wide open.
You've identified multiple individuals and LLCs that you believe engaged in fraud. How many of these had Somali or Bhutanese or other African origin names?
100%.
100%. And how many did you look through? I mean, that's 100% of how many, roughly?
I looked at the names of hundreds of companies. I looked more deeply into maybe 50.
More deeply into 50. You looked into hundreds of companies, and 100%, you're telling me, had names that were Somali, Bhutanese, or other sort of African origin derivation.
Correct. I thought I saw an American, and I was very excited, but it turned out to be the teenage son of that money launderer, who was actually just a proxy for this woman from Ghana.
What are some of these names that you come across? Do you hear the same names, or are they different names?
Yeah, it's funny because this started off, I was investigating a guy named Robert Achiapong, and then I found a different scammer named Roberta Achiapong, and I thought they were related, but they weren't. It's just that's how common it is to scam Medicaid when your name is Achiapong. And then I did the same thing with a guy named Aliu Conte, who has 30 criminal charges in Cuyahoga County or in Franklin County and threatened my family, malicious wounding, crazy stuff. This guy's a career criminal. And then there was a different guy named Alfred Conte who was convicted of Medicaid fraud, but Ohio, Franklin County expunged his record. They let him plead down, and then they expunged his record. He didn't have to pay any money back except like $500. And the Ohio Nursing Board let him keep his license. So you've got the Contes, the Achiapongs, and it just seems to be the family business is billing Medicaid.
Criminal rings. We did a lot of work previously this year on Medicaid fraud in Minnesota. There seem to be a lot of similarities here. Can you tell us in your investigation, have you found any connections between Ohio Medicaid fraud and the Somali fraud that we saw in Minnesota?
Yeah, it's the same people. They all have relatives in both places, and they move back and forth. First of all, I think there was $130 million in cash that transferred from the Columbus airport to the Minnesota airport and then to Somalia. And so they're moving basically briefcases of cash. Right. And there's one guy that had, basically he racked up $30,000 in tax debts in Columbus running this daycare center and not paying his taxes. So then he started a home health care company in Minnesota.
That's always the next business.
$35,000 in 1 month and then dissolved the company.
So I just want to be clear. Your testimony is that there is a large interstate criminal enterprise of Somali fraudsters that are defrauding the federal government in multiple states of potentially billions of dollars. Is that your testimony?
Correct.
Can you give us a sense of the scale of this fraud? We saw it in Minnesota. We're seeing it here. But have you seen it in other places? Or
yeah, bro, it's widespread.
Can you give us a sense for either dollar values or the number of people involved, in your opinion?
There's thousands of people involved. I would say the majority of Bhutanese people are either on Medicaid home health care or are providing Medicaid home health care services. They had recently 15,000 people. This nonprofit group, this advocacy group, which is tied to actually founded by a home health care guy. They had 15,000 Bhutanese people come to this party in Ohio, and they bust in all the participants on their Medicaid vans because everybody there has their own Medicaid company. And so I think Bhutanese people are systematically using Medicaid, not only in Ohio, but also in Pennsylvania and Kentucky and New York and in other states where they perceive that they will pay the family member and they will pay for non-nursing services, and those are the two big vulnerabilities.
So it's not just the Somalis, it's also Bhutanese. It's across multiple states. They're coordinating with each other. There's a network of foreigners running criminal fraud rings within our government, within our country, I should say, defrauding our federal government. Thank you so much for the work that you have done on this. It's been fantastic reporting, so we really appreciate this.
None of this should actually surprise you, though, okay? Is it every single person within the group? No. If you come from a place that is basically a food desert, an education desert, a clean water desert, these conditions have created a life of scarcity. And that scarcity absolutely has the ability to come into a place that doesn't have anywhere near the similarity of scarcity here and take advantage of systems here. But we'll definitely talk more on this later here, guys.
And Antonio, thank you for being here. Has Somali immigration been good for Ohio?
You know, that's really outside of my purview of
You're a state senator. Would you like to see more immigration from Somalia?
As far as I'm processing your question, and I have to say that I was almost brought to tears just now.
72% of Somali immigrants are on welfare.
The rate and the level of hateful rhetoric based on false
your state
information
at an astounding rate, and I think that most Ohioans would have a problem with that.
The lack of even humanity to group
I think it's
a group of
inhumane to
people
allow your
together.
own state to be defrauded at astounding rates.
I am shocked
Billions
and
of dollars
appalled by the
taken out of the
behavior
pockets
here
of
right
working
now.
class people
I am
going to
shocked.
criminal fraudsters.
Because
I certainly have a major problem
in every
with that.
community,
I think
there
that
are
that's an
good
issue, and I think
people
most
and there are
Americans
bad
agree.
people.
Yeah, regular
There are
order.
But to
good
try
people
to
Understand we're not
and
supposed to
bad
disrespect.
people.
We're not supposed to
And
disrespect
with
our
that
witnesses.
said, we're out of time, Miss
group.
Antonio.
We're not
is
supposed to
somehow
disrespect
Okay. Two things have the ability to be true kind of at all times of the day here, and I stand on that completely here. I've never been someone that's going to go ahead and lump everyone into a singular group because it's not true. There are always outliers. There are always exceptions to said rule here. To touch back on what I was starting earlier here, if you are coming from a place that is super hardened, guys, right? What type of mentality do you think is baked into some of the people that are coming from these like war-torn, hardened areas? This is generally why we need to kind of be cautious with allowing large quantities of people that come from these places, let's say specifically into our country, because again, guys, we are basically guppies out here. All right. Honestly, like I've traveled enough around the world to see what struggle actually looks like, what poverty actually looks like, what racism, in fact, actually looks like. And I'm saying this basically to point out one thing here. There are people that are raised in places, seriously, that are struggling. They're struggling with food. They're struggling with every single one of the things that we basically squander on a daily basis because we have become accustomed to basically getting whatever we want at any time of the day, bro. Okay? Reality. That in itself has made a good amount of America soft, okay, like soft, to the point where we then got into the large scale entitlement programs, right? Now, what do you think our entitlement programs look like to someone that has come from a war-torn, hardened place? What do you think it looks like? It looks like candy, guys. Is this indicative of every single person that comes from these places? No, guys. We're touching on the Somali issue specifically because it seems to be the one that's in the news regularly, but please be aware here, guys. Anyone that has come from any place around, insert the war-torn area around the world, okay? Everyone has the ability to absolutely take advantage of a system that we have set up specifically, okay, to help us. As long as we have a group of people that are in the government specifically that are saying, basically put more money into a system that's being completely frauded out is wild to me. Mainly referring to the left and a good amount of the Democrats here, guys, right? I mean, this is a problem, bro. Would I have specifically went about this questioning like this? Probably not, bro. I'm going to be honest here because again, how you say things sometimes matter, specifically if you're trying to get attention for what you're saying. And how he led the questioning is enough for people to absolutely lose their mind here. Because again, is it everyone? No. But that's kind of what it sounds like with him saying it like this. And there needs to be kind of a line in the sand when it comes to that type of thing here. Like, is it super indicative of Somalis as a whole in the United States of America? No, it's not, guys, right? But is there a subsection of people that are in fact utilizing a fraud type of system to defraud the American people? Yeah, most likely. That's kind of what it sounds like here. Either way, be nice to each other, all right? Listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, guys, I'll go ahead and catch you guys later.